Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. Great to see everybody. We are officially into the new league year of 2026. Thanks so much to DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida, our huge sponsor here. And thanks, of course, to Variety Sports Network and our great friend, Mr. Frank Walker and Frank Walker Law for sponsoring the studio as well. It is, man, it's a good night. I feel like shit, but I'm going to power through. Ben is powering through. Is that a Modelo?
It is.
Look at you, man. Look at you. Scarps is, did I see Scarps was putting one of the children to bed? Is that what I missed? I don't know. And
I don't know. I haven't read anything.
Yeah. And Ian,
I was like, Mark's the only one on. Okay.
Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, Ian's likely got 12 or 13 he's putting to bed. So, yeah. Cold night is right, Godfather. And it's going to be a good night when the very first comment I see is from Steelers Freak, and he's already talking about Scarps' ex-girlfriend or ex-wife. So, giving fellatio to the janitor at summer school. So, we're starting off right. By the way, hey, we tried this last week and it worked out pretty good. I just posted it in the comments. If you click on that link to SpeakPipe, you can send us a comment or a question or whatever, and I'll try to play it right here on the air and everything, and go from there. Here comes Mr. Thin Lizzy, Mr. Brisky in the Jar. Of course, Metallica also did that one, but that was a Thin Lizzy original.
Much better.
Actually, it's an Irish traditional original. I mean, you've got
right.
The Dubliners and all those,
yes,
good old Gaelic Storm. But pretty much any Irish band has covered it too.
Yeah. To your point, that's true. That's very true. So we expect to have several phone calls in tonight. We might have Aaron Rodgers stopping by tonight, and we'll see if that happens or not. But Aaron, he might still be in a darkness retreat. Not real sure yet. But let's get down to it. And speaking of Aaron Rodgers, you know what? Kyler Murray is going to be a Minnesota Viking. I thought there was a height limit to be a Viking, but apparently there's not. And so he's going to be up in Minnesota. And Ian, what does this do for the chances of Aaron Rodgers playing football in 2026?
I mean, I don't think it really changes. It reduces his options, but at the same time, Aaron was going to make Aaron's decision. It was, if he wanted to play, Pittsburgh would probably have a spot for him, or I don't think it was Minnesota or nothing is what I'm saying, right? Okay. I think he probably has a comfort level with the situation here in Pittsburgh, both with, the facilities as bad as they are, just the whole game day atmosphere, the way the town treats him, which the town treated him very well. And
I thought so.
Yeah. And he even said, in interviews back in training camp and stuff, that he loved how passionate the fan base was and all that. And so I think there's a level of comfort with being here. He knows what Mike McCarthy's going to bring to the table. So I don't think it was Pittsburgh or nothing. I don't think it was Minnesota or nothing, but I do think it reduces his options significantly. And now he may be at a point where it's Pittsburgh or nothing.
Ben, what do you think? Pittsburgh or nothing for A-Raj?
It does nothing. Murray going to Minnesota doesn't do dick because he was Minnesota's third choice. It was Murray, it was Cousins, and then maybe it was A-Rod. And the only party that expressed any interest was A-Rod and the Vikings, not the other way around. So it doesn't do a fucking thing. Doesn't mean anything.
So in your mind, it was Rodgers, Steelers, nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I think the media has felt the same way about that from the jump, but he's not saying anything, and other than it takes two to tango, and they haven't made an offer, and fuck, whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rico Suave Dowdle is joining the show.
Nice,
Rico Suave.
It's Dowdle, isn't it?
Is it Dowdle or Dowdle? How does he say it?
Pretty sure it's Dowdle.
I think it's Dowdle. Yeah, I do too. Welcome aboard, Scarps. Good to see you, buddy.
So Ian, did you make a brisket? Is that why there's brisky in the jar, or did you just?
No, it's Jaquan Brisker, who we just signed.
Right.
Keep up with the news here, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, are you really excited about that? I mean,
yeah, he's a Whippio kid coming back home.
Okay, cool.
Good. Too many good stories.
Yeah. Before we moved on, Scarps, I just asked the guys, does Kyler Murray, in your mind, signing with the Vikings, does that essentially mean it's Rodgers and the Steelers or nothing else?
Yeah, I Rodgers and Murray have been pretty similar over the past couple years. They're both inconsistently efficient or consistently inefficient, whatever way you want to describe it. They're both not that great in EPA per play. Their adjusted net yards per attempt aren't great. They're very similar. But at the end of the day,
You mean in terms of effectiveness, they're similar? Because they're dissimilar as players. They're
correct. They're dissimilar as players, but they have the same efficiency essentially. And Rodgers throws more touchdowns. Murray is more escapable. So like they each have their positives and their negatives. But I look at it as you could have gotten Kyler Murray for the vet minimum. He could have been the short-term answer and a potential long-term answer. And I know he has his flaws. I know, about the video game stuff. Dumb. Yes, but the point being is I don't think that Rodgers, and I said this earlier today, I don't think Rodgers is the best short-term option. I think he's the safest short-term option. I don't think they want to have a losing season. Art said that he doesn't like the word reset. And so, to me, I probably would have taken a chance on a Kyler Murray because he's much younger. Maybe you get him for this year and you say, hey, shit, this guy actually, turned it around. He had a stable organization. He had a good coach behind him. So anyway, to answer your question, once again, nobody wants Aaron Rodgers. And if
Steelers do,
well, if we don't, actually, Ben, I agree with you. I think we do. And I really do think he might not want to play football anymore.
Which, and that's fine. I think for the Steelers, if they had like you have to have a young quarterback who is far better than Mason Rudolph ever was, for example. And I'm sorry to use Rudy as an example. That wasn't a dig at you, Scarps, this time. Later on,
of course.
I don't think Will Howard is that guy, but if you had like a young Jimmy Garoppolo, who you wanted to invest in, then I could see Aaron Rodgers as the safe choice, the logical choice to be a mentor to a younger quarterback who's on the rise, on the come, right? But we don't have that guy, and I don't necessarily see us drafting him. Simpson he ain't that guy. He's not, and he's going to go in the first round. He's going to be another Kenny Pickett. So, to me, it's what we talked about last week. I'd rather just say fuck it, go with Will Howard for a year and lose anyway. But the guys that we play would get better because of the experience level they would get this year.
Ian, would it be better for everybody if Aaron Rodgers announced tomorrow that, you know what, I'm just going to retire. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Would it be just better?
It would be better if he made a decision, right?
Better for us.
Yeah. I mean, better in the long term for the Steelers, probably, because then they wouldn't be playing this they wouldn't be playing this maybe Aaron Rodgers games. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, Aaron Rodgers is starting, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't coming somewhere to be a backup. Minnesota signed Kyler Murray. There's no guarantee he starts. They're paying him a vet minimum deal and probably going to compete with JJ McCarthy. So that's the other thing is if Rodgers signs, he starts. And it would make the long term easier because then maybe you invest a mid-round pick in a guy this year and you kind of, like New Orleans did with shock, kind of let him work his way into the roster and see if he has anything halfway for half the season. And if he does, then you stick with him for another year. And if he doesn't, then you're back at it in the draft next year in a better draft class.
True.
And we're going to be in it in the 27 draft class anyways. So I just think it does kind of shape what you do and how you draft prep and how you free agent prep and all that. So I think a decision one way or the other sooner or later would be better.
I think the longer he drags this out, in my opinion, the more hostile the Steelers fan base will be towards him if shit doesn't go well.
Oh, come on. We were hostile as fuck toward him last year, and then he decided he was going to do it.
Yeah, but I think this year's different. The novelty's worn off. We know what he is. I mean, he's Mark Madden in the comments made the comment about
Mark Malone.
I'm sorry.
Mark Malone's mustache.
Yes, about with Pittman there, and stuff. A-Rod could have a good year and everything, and maybe, but the fact that he wants to get the ball out so damn quick, time.
And we can talk about this. I'll save it. I'll save it for the Pittman.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but I don't know. I mean, I just want an end to it. I'm tired of the drama. Just make a damn decision, man, and let's go. I mean, if this is him wanting to try to avoid, having to come in for OTAs and all that stuff, it's like, well, negotiate that with Mike McCarthy then. I mean, just say you're coming, say you're not, whatever.
But like. And I know it's far. I know there's still plenty of time before OTAs, but is this the same McCarthy offense that he's accustomed to?
Good question.
He doesn't have Calvin Austin anymore. He doesn't, Roman. Who knows what the fuck Roman Wilson is going on?
Scotty Miller, man. I mean, what's he going to do without Scotty Miller?
And Mark Malone's keeps saying we're a contender, and I mean, I am definitely about as high on the Steelers as I have been forever. But Aaron Rodgers is not a consistently efficient quarterback anymore. He's not like Michael. Okay, we can get into the free agents because I have some Pittman stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah,
but it's just like I don't know, like other teams want to win too. And, Mike McCarthy did not have great success with the Cowboys. They got fucking embarrassed at home against the Packers a couple years ago. I just and I'm not saying that Kyler Murray makes them a contender. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm saying that Aaron Rodgers coming back is running it back. Even though they have new faces and there's going to be roster turnover, him coming back is running it back.
I agree.
Because they're too afraid to have a losing season.
Who does that come from, though? Is that from Art? Is it from...
Yeah, honestly, I think that this is... I thought about this today, is that Art has not won anything since his dad, Mr. Rooney, passed away. They have not won a playoff game since Dan died, and Art solo does not have a resume. And I have the utmost respect for Art. I like Art. It has to be a really, really hard job to do, knowing that your grandfather built it, your dad made it amazing, and then you have to carry on that legacy, and you haven't won a playoff game without your grandfather or your dad still being around. So I think that he feels that his time as president is coming to an end soon.
Yeah.
He's going to pass the torch to his son, young Dan.
Yep.
And he necessarily doesn't want to have a bad season.
Okay.
I
think that's fair. It's
I can't argue with. I'm not going to tell a guy how to feel. I guess is the point. If he feels that that's what this team needs to do, it can continue to get better by going 9-8, 10-7, then that's fine.
I think just looking at the free agency field and going, okay, this is our best option, this guy.
Yeah.
And there are not any good options out there. I agree with everything you guys have said about Rodgers and how that is his running it back. And, he had that 5-game stretch there during the middle of the season last year where he was god-awful. He was fucking terrible. And I would expect more of the same this year because he's older and he's not going to get better.
No.
And he doesn't like contact anymore, and he can't avoid it like he used to be able to. He walks into sacks sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
This is not – he's a smart quarterback. He's been around for a long time. He's seen a lot of things. He'll yell at DBs and say, quit fucking looking at my eyes. It's not going to help you. and mean it, and then laugh at him afterwards when he throws it somewhere else, So he's got all that shit going for him. But the caliber of athletes that are chasing him is too high for him to be able to be super effective, even with all that arm strength. And he's got a cannon for an arm. I mean, still
there.
Still throw it off his back foot and get it where it's supposed to be on time.
Well, so let's talk about the
you can't question that. I get it.
Hey, Reginald joining us from Bartlett, Tennessee. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you so much for dropping by.
So I just want to make one quick point to what Mark Malone said about having more than one wide receiver will help. He didn't do shit with fucking Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams. Like he literally got Devontae Adams to the Jets, and they didn't do shit. And I'm just saying, like this sounds like a Kenny Pickett type of shit where everything has to be perfect for him to have the best seas. You're saying this, he used to be great back at Green Bay when he didn't have he did.
Pitt.
He'll make an appearance later.
No Kenny Pickett slander allowed on this show.
But I'm just saying, when, back in Green Bay when he had Devontae Adams, but he would hit up Robert Tonyan and fucking Tom Crabtree and all these random Geronimo Allison and all these random fucking dudes
because he was so fucking good.
And then he literally Devontae Adams forces his way out of Vegas, goes to the Jets, and then Aaron Rodgers was whatever, and he literally padded his stats in garbage time. So the dude's gonna be 43 years old. What the fuck are we doing? Yeah. They ran Ben out of town at 38, and Ben was more efficient than Rodgers is right now.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah,
well, I don't want to get into too much of a quarterback.
The numbers, sure, but he couldn't throw the long ball anymore. And that
I digress. Rodgers fucking doesn't throw it long anymore. Either.
It's just
because Rodgers gets rid of it so goddamn fast, and that's the problem. Can we talk about Pittman, please?
Go ahead.
Yeah, let's move to the fact that we did have a big week this week. The new league year started yesterday, and of course the tampering period. Boy, what a fuck joke that is. Anyway, so let's start with the trade.
Talking over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the trade with Michael Pittman Jr. Can any of us argue with the compensation?
No.
A pick swap. That's great.
No, pick swap. We'll take it. Okay, they bring him in. He gets a 3-year deal, $59 million. And look, I like him. I don't know if he was the best possible option, but I think at that particular price, that's probably what fit. So Ian, how do you look at the addition of Michael Pittman in what is going to be a different offense? I don't want to say this offense because we don't really know what this offense is other than the fact we expect it to be a Mike McCarthy type offense.
Yeah, I like Pittman a lot as a number 2 wide receiver, and he was forced for a while into a number 1 role in Indianapolis and had some bad quarterback play that he had to play through. He's really good at winning contested catch balls. He's a tall guy, long arms, big body. He's actually really quick out of breaks and really good on like those I don't want to call them short out routes, but those like 7 to 8 yard out routes. Really good at winning those. And even on some of the in cuts, slant routes and things like that, he's pretty good at winning those and using his body to shield defenders away. He doesn't have the long speed to take the top off the coverage, but you have DK Metcalf to do that. So now you can actually design an offense where the receivers can complement each other, and it's not like an offense is going to be like, oh, Scotty Miller's running a deep route, huh? Well, we're not going to cover that.
Probably
we're going to double
at all. We're just going to be like, hey, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So you actually have two guys now who are actual threats to catch the ball, and I think now you can actually design an offense where DK is more of a true number one, and you can run him on more routes that fit his skill set rather than having him run things that, he was running some things last year that he just straight up wasn't good at. And I think Pittman's really good in the red zone too, especially at the goal line where they like to throw those, slant routes, fade routes, things like that. So I really like the addition as a number 2 receiver. The trade value was great. A late round pick swap is totally fine. And actually the amount of money he was due like 23 million or so, somewhere around there, I think, this year.
Yeah.
And we wound up signing him to a contract for less than 20 million a year. So, that's basically the going rate for number 2. What?
I thought it was a little bit hair over 20.
It's 59 divided by 3 is under 20.
That's the extension.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's give or take.
The new money is under 20.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was going. That he's 29 years old, so he still has some tread left on his tires, but he's trending towards the tail end of his career. But that's kind of the going rate for a number 2 wide receiver these days. So we're not paying him 35 million a year. We're paying him I guess a hair over 20.
Ben, you seem to have been this week a little wishy-washy on this.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great combination, and it's because of the quarterback. If it's Aaron Rodgers who gets rid of the ball in fucking 2 seconds, and you got your wide receiver 2 isn't a yak guy, that's okay. Comparing guys here, okay. Pittman is a good possession receiver. And he'll do dirty work. He blocks. He shields the ball well, as Ian's pointed out. He wins 50-50 catches. He's a tough player. He'll do the dirty work, yada, yada, yada. But he's a guy who catches the ball and falls down. He's not a guy, unless he catches the ball in space, who's going to get a lot of yak. He's just not that guy. Unless they scheme him open and he wins that way, he's not going to get you a lot of yards after the catch. And when Aaron's getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds, 2.52, whatever the hell his average was last year, you're not getting a lot of yards. Okay, so I don't love this combination of receivers. I'd like to see a guy who runs precision routes like Deontay Johnson used to be, who was a threat to get open on every single down, every snap, and they were like, oh, shit. Okay, well, what are we going to do here? Then you got to pick your poison.
Right.
You have to choose what you're going to do. I do like him as a receiver. I like him as a player. I just don't like this combination with DK, who really, he plays bully ball. He's not really that fast a guy, except on go routes and like post routes. He's not going to get a lot of separation because he's not that quick and out of his breaks. So if he was that guy who could stretch the field, like if he was a Tyreek Hill type, then I'd be like, okay, well, this might work. No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, you would not have advocated for him. You're talking more of the type. Yeah,
the type.
Ben is saying he wanted a Tyreek Hill type, but not actually Tyreek Hill.
No. But I just don't like the combination of Rodgers with those two receivers. I don't think it's that great.
No, I see the logic in what you're saying.
Rodgers could hold the ball for a second longer. Oh yeah, that'd be scary.
I totally understand the logic from where you're coming from.
That would be scary, but he's going to get rid of the ball real fast. And I mean, the left side of our offensive line right now is suspect as hell.
Yeah,
you got to replace your guard. You don't know what's going on at left tackle.
Nope.
Your presumptive starter had neck surgery, and you don't know when he's even going to be ready.
Mm-mm.
Your backup was on the practice squad last year, and he's probably going to be battling it out for your starter or with your starter this year for the starting role. And I don't think they're going to draft a tackle high again. So
Scarps, do you like the Pittman trade?
I like it. I do like it, but I also don't. I like it because I think he's a good teammate.
Agreed.
I think he's already excited to be a Steeler, and he's like, he reminds me of a Steelers wide receiver that we often talk, not a specific wide receiver, but when we talk about like the dudes that cared about one another, the dudes that played, he's a type of guy that reminds me of that. I like that he can play all three positions, and I think that helps.
Yeah.
But it scares me because I feel like he's going to be this year's Kenneth Gainwell if Aaron Rodgers comes back. He's going to catch a bunch of passes for short yards.
Yeah.
Rodgers is going to have a lot of trust in him. He's a guy. Here's a guy.
Yep.
He catches everything, but he averages less than 11 yards per catch. He only has 25 touchdowns in 100 games. I mean, that's one every 4 games. But I'm just saying that, like, it's someone that moves the needle because of his name, but doesn't necessarily move the needle because he's some incredible player. Because I look at last year when we traded for DK, and everyone's like, "Oh, fucking beast, wide receiver 1," and he was, was it Arthur Smith's offense? Was it this? Was it Aaron Rodgers throws the ball too quickly? I don't know, but I do like
things, and it was him too.
Yeah. And so I do like the call. I'm sorry, it's call. I do like the trade. I do like Pittman. But yeah, I don't think this is as easy as oh, now we got 2 guys, we're gonna light it up. I don't think that. I don't think that's gonna be the case. We'll see though.
Well, so they add Pittman through the trade, and then free agent wise on the offensive side of the ball, we see Kenny Gainwell goes to Tampa. He gets a 2-year deal down there, $10 million guaranteed. And more power to him. He was the Steelers team MVP this year. He deserves every damn dime he gets going to Tampa. And so the Steelers bring in Rico Dowdle, played for McCarthy when he was at Dallas, and then had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons for the Panthers. And he's a fall forward guy. I think
he was only in Carolina 1 year.
Just 1 year there, had the 1,000.
He had
Dallas
1,000 yards in Dallas, and then they let him leave.
That's right. My bad. But he's. I think he's got just enough to get to the outside, but he's not a burner by any stretch. But he is a fall forward type guy. I always like that.
He's the guy you give the ball to when you have a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, so how does he play with Jalen Warren? Is this a thunder and lightning type of thing? Is this
that's the way I see it? It's a thunder and lightning type deal, and he is a decent receiver. He's actually pretty okay.
Okay,
Kenny G was more of an outside the tackles guy than Dowdle is. And obviously a good outlet receiver. With our quarterback, I guess you need that.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have guys at tight end this year that are sure-handed because Jonnu Smith's been cut. Maybe that's figuring into Aaron's decision too. It's like that was one of his favorite targets was Jonnu Smith. the dude's not going to be on the team. So I don't know. And the dude dropped the ball. I mean, like, it's fine if you're a tight end and you're the guy who's the Heath Miller. Hey, the play's falling apart. We're going off the script. Oh,
right.
Get open. Boop. That's beautiful. But Johnny Smith was not that guy. And he also couldn't block. So what fucking good was he? We're going to have better tight ends playing regularly this year. My opinion. Freiermuth's got far better hands. He's pretty sure. Darnell is a good blocker and a pretty good catcher. A catcher. That's a wonderful word there. He's pretty good catching the ball.
Batting third for the Steelers. He's a catcher.
Yep. He's not a guy who's going to make anybody miss, but he's also not a guy who's very easy to take down. So he does get yak, but it's not because he's shifty. He just bashes people and gets another 6 or 7 yards because nobody wants to tackle him.
Ian, is Caleb Johnson on thin ice?
Rico Dowdle is basically Caleb Johnson who doesn't suck. So they're very similar players.
Yeah. Well, and he's also a good pass blocker, and Caleb cannot pass block at all.
Yeah.
So then, sorry, Ian.
He can also return kicks, which Caleb can't do either. So
that's right.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. It's an important part.
Yeah. I think there's a very good chance.
What are you talking about? Caleb returned some kicks until he made a huge blunder.
Yeah,
he didn't
until he fumbled a couple before that.
I didn't know the rule.
Yeah. I think there's a very good chance, especially with the new coaching staff here, bring in Dowdle, that Caleb Johnson winds up getting the Office Space talk of what would you say that you do here.
Like the Caleb Johnson moment last year was I don't know who was wired around them, but catching little Heyward yelling at him after that play. We talk about this fucking play every week.
Yeah. I mean, if that wasn't telling, right? Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate too much about a person, but with Caleb, there's just so much evidence on tape and on audio that I don't know how much is going on between his ears. And at this level, you got to have it between the ears to be able to.
Is that breaking news right there? Connor Heyward signs with the Raiders?
No. That's like 5 hours ago.
Oh, so it did happen. I've been away from it. So
yeah, that's why I joked in the chat.
Oh shit, I've been out of the loop. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. You made the comment about him being Tomlin's guy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully Cam can still feed his family with Connor not playing with him. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but I missed that earlier. Yeah, Scarps, did you have a comment on Caleb Johnson, Rico Dowdle?
Yeah, no, it's just so Rico Dowdle, fantasy football legend last year, for those that know what I'm talking about. I guess my comment about Caleb Johnson is, everyone's on Omar's nuts right now, whatever. They took him in the 3rd round. Like, why would you, and everyone was on Omar's nuts when they took him in the 3rd round. Oh, this is going to be great. I mean, that guy was fucking projected like in fantasy as like the Steelers starter last year.
Oh, yeah.
Dude is done. I mean, so obviously Omar's on cloud 9 right now because he's had a couple wins in free agency, but when you look back on it, it's like, why did you take him in the 3rd round? And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they could have had this guy, they could have that guy, but maybe they should have thought a little bit better about.
And we do that often, don't we?
About because I mean, do you ever see Caleb Johnson being a contributor? I don't. I mean, they were 2 more years. 2 years.
He looked out of place to me last year.
He would
get carries, he just didn't look.
They were hoping Caleb Johnson could be what Najee Harris was, and he had a similar build and similar look to his college tape, but he just doesn't see the game and process as quickly as Naj did, and made a lot of boneheaded mistakes, which kind of tells me he wasn't really paying attention in practice or in
Probably
team meetings or whatever else. And so I think there's just, I don't want to say he's a lost cause at this point because he's still a young player. He can figure it out, but I think he's got an uphill battle. But at the same time, we always keep 3 running backs. So as of right now, it's Connor, or not Connor. It's Warren. Sorry, I was thinking about James Conner getting a new contract from Arizona, but it's Jalen Warren, it's Dowdle, and it's Johnson, and unless they draft one or sign another one or whatever else happens.
Also offensively, Calvin Austin III goes down to where did he end up going?
Giants.
Okay, so he's gone. Does that, accompanied with the other things they've done offensively, does that change their draft outlook at all, Ben? Is Ben frozen?
Since Ben answers for me, I'll answer for him. No, it doesn't.
It does not change their. Okay. Well,
wait,
what I
hear me or no?
We can now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was muted.
Okay.
I don't think it changed. I hope it changes the draft outlook. With CA3,
what do you mean by that?
We need speed in the wide receiver room, so I hope it changes the draft outlook.
Okay.
He was a shifty little water bug wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I never was that enamored with him, but you need speed there. Maybe you need somebody who's not 5'8". That might be better. Just thinking out loud.
I mean, I just didn't really see him. I mean, he could run a couple of routes on the outside. He could run a couple of routes on the inside. But we need somebody that's bigger, can do a little bit more from the slot, can do a little bit more on the outside when necessary. I still am clinging to the fact I think they're going to look at 2 wide receivers in this draft.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know how they. I do. I still do.
I think at least one within the first 2 days.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
My thinking, but it kind of depends on who's left.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. How the board falls.
Right.
Everything else. And
I mean, we've talked about it already, but I mean, basically, I think there are about 18 or 20 legitimate first-round players in this draft.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are picking at 21. So unless they trade up, they're choosing from the top end of the second rounders.
Is it fair to say that there's always a team or two that takes somebody that's not part of that first round group ahead of you, so that it does increase the chance a little bit? I think
especially
it does,
quarterbacks and teams that reach for need, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We have to get a defensive tackle this year. We have to.
Yeah.
This is our guy. We're taking him in the first round because he won't be there in the second. Okay. Thank you.
Well, in that vein, with Isaac Seumalo's off to Arizona. And as we mentioned earlier, you guys were talking about how weak that left side of the line is right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if the kid from Penn State is sitting there at 21, I'm going to have a hard time not looking at him.
Yeah, and I said last week, fine, it was before pre-agency, that they had needs, and I didn't necessarily see it happening. Now they've filled some needs. They signed a corner. They traded for a wide receiver. It certainly changes the landscape. You don't really know what they're going to do until you find out what the needs are on draft day. And they're going to try and plug as many holes as they can before that. They've signed 2 safeties. They traded for a wide receiver. They've signed a corner. Their intentions are pretty clear. It would be really nice if they traded for like a legitimate quarterback, but that's not happening.
Not happening, no.
Because teams aren't dumb enough to trade those away.
No.
I mean, honestly, at this point, seriously,
as
bad as he is, because he doesn't have an arm at all anymore, I would take Kirk Cousins rather than A-Rod.
Because he's a really smart player.
Mm-hmm. And you might be able to get more than a single year out of him if you needed it. Of course, he also ain't going to come cheap because he doesn't just want to play.
I would say right now, the one thing I like about Cousins is he's not afraid to push the ball down the field. Now, granted, that also requires...
He's not capable of doing it anymore, though.
Well, it does require time to throw, too. But it sounds like they're entertaining Flacco.
He doesn't have the arm strength. Well, that's a guy who still has arm strength.
He does. But he still has it.
But
God,
I don't know if I mean, if Flacco plays in Pittsburgh, he will have played for the entire AFC North.
Yeah. And can you imagine going back to 2008, watching that game and thinking,
oh, man.
Hey, Joe Flacco's going to be a Steeler.
Oh my God!
Shit, are you?
That was a great game.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
That was the Super Bowl that year. Really, I mean, honestly, yeah. I still think the Ravens could have beaten the Cardinals too.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Defensively, Jamel Dean comes over from Tampa. Scarps, what do you like about Mr. Dean?
He's big.
Yep.
Physical.
Yep.
The Bucs defense last year was a mess. Their linebacker play was shit. And he had a pretty good season despite that. And I think I said this to you guys, or maybe I said it to someone else, but I'll say it now. The thing about him is that he's a guy. Here's a guy.
Oh, here's a guy.
I feel like he's a guy they could have gotten like 3 different times in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And they finally got him. And it's like, okay, better late than never. But he's better than James Pierre. No disrespect to James Pierre, obviously sucks to lose him, but that's just the nature of the business.
It is.
It gives them some flexibility. I still think they need a slot corner because to me, you got Dean and Porter Jr. on the outside.
Right.
Depending if they get a free safety, if they had a legitimate free safety.
So yeah,
they could move Ramsey into the slot and he'd be more effective there, in my opinion.
And you do still have Eccles for another year.
Yeah, you do have Eccles.
So there's maybe and agreed. I'm still nervous about slot corner.
Yeah. Hey, you need at least 5 good corners or legitimate corners, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that Brisker and Elliott are sort of the same player. I don't think Brisker is a free safety at all.
No.
He's I think he's a liability. I think he's a liability in coverage. So
he's a box guy.
But that's just so am I.
Not what your ex-wife said.
That's only Casey's ex-wife.
Mark from the top row.
That's only when I'm talking about Casey. But yeah, I do like the guy. I just feel that like they could have probably had him like fucking 3 different times in the last 5 years. So
how many times though in the last 10 years can we say that about a guy that we get and think, oh shit, we could have?
Well, that's the problem though. They signed these guys, but they could have had like 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and then now the guy's 33 or 34, and they're paying him $10 million in a 1-year contract. Like Darius Slay last year. I mean, how the fuck did that work out? Like,
Slay.
when the guy when it's time for the guy to move on to his life's work, and the Steelers sign him as a Band-Aid for a 1-year deal, I fucking hate that.
Oh, no, we've done it too often. I mean, shit. How many guys this week did we sign that are 29 years old?
Yeah, but 29 is better than
32. Yeah,
yes, right. Yes, it is
better than 33.
No argument. No argument there.
I mean, at least the guy's got a few years left.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just, I'm curious to see how this rotation plans out. And Christine, you might be right. Maybe they've got safety much higher on the priority list than any of us are thinking in the early rounds.
I think they're looking at linebackers, man.
I think they're going to too.
I think Patrick Queen's days are numbered, and
boy, it sure feels like it.
I just hope that the starting linebackers are not Wilson and fucking
Malik Harrison.
Holcomb.
Holcomb. Yeah. No, my feeling was Holcomb was signed strictly as, okay, Cole, we know you know how to play linebacker, but I think we're going to keep you on special teams and you'll play linebacker.
I get guys arguing with me this week that Holcomb is good in coverage. I'm like, what? Man, like Holcomb wasn't good in coverage before he blew his knee out.
No. I mean,
well, here are these metrics. And yeah, okay, I have eyes. I watch the guy.
Yes,
he's not good in fucking coverage.
Always watch. Yeah. That's
he's okay, but it's not like he's a good cover linebacker. Is he better than Malik Harrison? Yeah, that's pretty much everybody in the league is better than Malik Harrison.
Malik is a straight downhill.
Yeah,
unstuffing linebacker. I mean, that's Ian. You wanted to make a point about Jamel Dean.
Yeah. Just one final thought that when Dean plays, he's really good. When he doesn't play, which is unfortunately somewhat often because he hasn't played a full season in like 5 years, there's definitely a step back. Like if you look at Tampa's splits the last few years when he's on the field versus off the field, their defense was so much better. So he is a good corner when he's playing, but the best ability is availability too. So there's some give and take here, that this is a guy who's really talented but hasn't played a full 17-game season. So to Ben's point about needing more corners, that's absolutely right, because there are bumps and bruises, but this also isn't a guy that's necessarily been the most durable guy in his career.
Yeah. No, very true. Very true. Hey, before we keep the conversation going, take a minute and click that subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate it. It doesn't take you much to do it. And please do that. Like, thumbs up, all those wonderful things, and leave a comment and jump on in the stream. I know we got a great group of people watching right now, and would love it if you can, jump in the chat. We got a lot of great people in there. So please consider those things. Also of note, I'm just thinking here.
Yeah.
Cam Johnston coming back. I got to admit, I liked him when he was here. And of course, he had the horrible injury in the opener against Atlanta. And they compete. He competes with Waitman last year. They give it the gig to Waitman. Johnston goes to Buffalo, gets hurt again, taking a roughing the punter call, and then I believe gets healthy at the very end, punts once for the Giants, I think, and now here he is back with the Steelers. I mean, I liked what the guy could do before. I'm just curious. I was a little surprised they got him.
Can he hold on kicks?
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, because you better be going down in the locker room and talking to Mr. Boswell, because that does matter.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yep, you're good. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Skirt.
Yeah, I would just say with the new coaching staff, I mean, they have familiarity, especially on special teams, but like they're gonna have new processes and new shit like that. Like, I'm not saying that whole snap, hold, kick process is, fluctuates between coaching staffs, but like all the guys currently on the staff have only ever worked with Danny Smith. So, and Cam Johnston has had his share of injuries. I'm sure they'll bring in another guy. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they
Waitman comes back and they compete, or
that, or I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a punter like in the 7th round or some shit. Like, who cares? Like,
or many picks, I can see it happening.
Or they had a rookie free agent or something like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll bring Waitman back as well. Yeah,
That's actually that's a really good observation, Ian.
Hockey reference. Yeah.
Can I talk about Brisker for a
Yes,
second too?
yes, absolutely.
So I think the interesting thing about Brisker, because as we said, he's very much a downhill in the box run attacking kind of safety. He is, as Ryan astutely mentioned, very similar in style to Deshaun Elliott.
Yeah.
That playing the two of them together, you're basically playing two strong safeties, right? You could play the two of them in a, two high cover two shell, give them each half the field, maybe be okay, right? Maybe. Both of them, I think, are quick enough, and Brisker's got long arms too, which is nice in coverage against tight ends and things like that. But I also think like Ramsey's kind of the wild card here, right? Because now you've got JPJ, Dean, and Eccles at corner. You've got Brisker, who's been a starter, and Elliott, who's been a starter at safety. And then you've got Ramsey, who you can kind of rotate through wherever you want. So whether that be in the slot, whether that be as a free safety, I think Ramsey probably is best used as a free safety at this point in his career, just because he can still think and see the game, but he's not as fast in those short areas at actually going and tackling, or staying with wide receivers on those short routes. So I think if you have
COD has slowed down, his change of direction has slowed down.
Yeah. So if you have Ramsey at free safety, what that does for you then is you can play more three safety alignments, right? You can play a 6 defensive back alignment where you have 3 safeties, and you can bring in a Brisker like up to a linebacker type position.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
You could even move Elliott up to a linebacker type position, and not get gashed in the running game when you're in nickel packages and things like that. So I think it's a good signing. He's starter capable. I do worry a little bit with signing another strong safety, what that means with Elliott's injury return. Just because
given the number of games that Elliott has missed recently, wasn't that I think that's a really good signing.
Oh, it is a good signing. I like it a lot. Yeah. Beyond him being a local kid, but yes.
There was
I know you're excited about the fact that he's a Whippeal kid, but I'm just talking about the fact that he's got so much starting experience.
Yeah.
It's really from a big picture standpoint, it's huge. Anyway,
I don't, Scarps, maybe you heard this, but there was a rumor that Elliott may have had another setback with an injury, maybe.
It wasn't a rumor. Nick Furbaugh talked
Did Nick
about
have it. Okay.
Yeah, they say that
Furbaugh.
Nick F. Furbaugh.
Is that like Furby?
No. Faribault. I don't know. Listen, I had a couple fucking drinks. I don't fucking know.
We've had some drinks. Is what you're saying?
Nick is a good guy, but he said yesterday that it was the knee, but it turned out to also be a hamstring.
Yeah.
Because there was some account on Twitter that acted like they were Sean Elliott, and they said something stupid and got suspended, and then that's when Nick said, like, actually, this is true, and that person that responded is not the real Deshaun Elliott. It's apparently some hamstring thing.
Which, not a small thing. Remember, Dermontti Dawson, his career ended because he had a significant hamstring pull in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Lamar Woodley too was a hamstring.
Woodley never got
better. Yeah. Woodley, it was repeated soft tissue injuries. It was all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Guys, we have our first comment tonight.
All right.
Really? We're this far in. I'm disappointed in you, Aaron. We're 54 minutes in.
Well, let me see what we got here, ladies and gentlemen.
You reading the transcript first?
No, actually, I'm just going to go with play. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Hold on.
No.
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
Here's a guy who doesn't know how to.
All right. Here we
There
go.
we go.
This is some quality stuff right here.
I would ask a question for Ben, but I don't respect him enough. So, Ian, Who would you want the Steelers to draft first round in the draft?
So that's Aaron's kid.
That's amazing.
Holy
That's so
shit.
good.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dying.
That's
so
Aaron's
good.
kid. That's beautiful.
That's wonderful. I want a wide receiver or a cornerback. I don't have a strong preference on who yet. Those are the positions I would like.
Oh, fantastic!
But the kid from the guard from Penn State, I would not complain about either. That would be a really good pick. I mean, because that's a guy you could plug in for 10 to 12 years and be set.
Now, if we could, let's get that kid to bed. It's past his bedtime for crying out loud. Aaron, what are you doing there in Ohio?
Yeah, Aaron,
no wonder their education system's so bad. Get those kids to bed here.
And why is the kid watching our show and we swear like fucking drunken sailors?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. I don't know. There's another use week.
Yeah, what's the link, Mark? You're gonna post
post the link again.
I'm working on it. Mr. Cam Heyward is back.
What about him?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just
never considered leaving. I mean,
no, but
you put it in the private chat.
I'm going to put it in both chats. Just give me a damn second here.
Oh, you and Ian both put it in the private chat.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who can copy paste.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ian.
See, you guys forget I'm not only the host, I'm also the lead producer too. So
you know what's really
I've
cool
got
about
all
this?
kinds of shit going on here. This looks like mission
in the private chat. It's
control
actually a link. All I have to do is click on it.
Well, yes. Yeah. It's kind of how it works.
Yeah. Cam coming back I talked about this briefly last week, that this was, I called it a situation to watch, right? Because he had a roster bonus that was coming due, and it was one of those things where, they could have just paid him his whole roster bonus, but they signed him to a 1-year extension, which basically prorated the bonus money over a couple years. They gave him a slight bump in guaranteed money, but really not that much. Basically, once you factor it out, what they guaranteed was what his roster bonus was this year, which was essentially $13 million, plus his base salary this year, which is about 1.5, plus what would be his base salary next year, which is like another 1.5. So, there were accounts out there on the Twitter that were saying, they guaranteed $2 million more for Cam. It's like, okay, but functionally what they actually guaranteed was like the base salary for the next 2 years. Like it was basically just prorating his roster bonus from this year out over 2 years.
Right.
Ben, are you glad he's back?
I mean, I'm fine with it. It really wasn't that big a deal.
I don't mean in terms of the doubt of whether or not he was coming back. I just mean, are you, from a football standpoint, looking at our defensive line depth, are you glad he's back? Because I am.
Ring say Steelers on it?
What?
Does your wedding ring say Steelers on it?
It does.
Seriously?
It does. There you go.
That's pretty awesome. That's dedication.
So does Steel Mom have a wedding ring that says Steelers on it too?
She does.
Holy shit!
Yeah. She bought in, man. She bought into this circus.
So what was the question again? It was
the question was, from a football standpoint. I'm glad Cam's back, because I have serious issues about whether or not.
Am I glad he's back?
Yeah.
I am glad that Cam is back, because even at 36 last year, he was their best defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Do I think that speaks well to the rest of the defensive line core? I know I do not. And don't get me wrong, Cam is still really good, but is he that fucking good?
Well,
don't get me wrong. I expect Derek Harmon to take that mantle this year and be the man.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I am disappointed in a number of other guys that are playing defensive line, especially Keanu Benton. Like the way he played the run last year, that was pathetic.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It was laughable.
You're fine. Anyway, I mean, Cam's not getting whatever, $40 million a year. So whatever.
Jesus freak.
Holy
Jesus, dude. My God.
Oh my god!
My
Did
first
Terry
wife died.
Baumshaw get a lot of work
My
tonight?
second wife
Holy
wouldn't.
fuck!
Oh,
Dude, that is just fucking morbid.
wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a call, and I had a feeling this was going to happen tonight. I wanted to keep it a secret.
What's going on?
A secret.
But yep. But we have a phone
like
call.
Mr. Roboto secret, or
Well, no.
Secret,
We have a
I
phone
got
call.
a secret.
We have a phone call from potential Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I'm not messing with you. This is Aaron Rodgers right here. No, here he is. Here's A-Rod.
Yeah, well, me, Aaron Rodgers, on the Steel City Blitz podcast. I appreciate your guys' commentary, but I don't appreciate that you don't respect my privacy. Currently, I am in the remote village in Peru, and I'm contacting you, which shows that you don't respect my privacy. But I'm here with my imaginary wife, and tell Omar to send me a contract, okay? Thanks.
Yes, I will be sure to thank
sure.
Aaron
See?
for that message.
Right
This is why I don't fucking like the guy. You know,
he must have one of those satellite phones. To be in Costa Rica and get service that good.
I think he's off the grid.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he's off the grid, how's his AI wife getting?
Lene Kakua got the fucking download.
What a reference.
Married to Mente Teo's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I want to say this to Cam.
Yeah.
And so I really wish that the Steelers or him or both would have just done this last year, and it would have avoided that bullshit training camp media session,
Right?
And that fake contract he got last year with the incentives, and he didn't meet any of them. I think Cam is still a really solid player in this league. You know, I'm not as high on him as others are because last year he had the least number of sacks in the last 6 seasons, the least number of tackles for loss in the last 6 seasons. But I think it just goes to show that they have struggled really badly to develop a defensive line. Because at this point in Cam's career, and this is no disrespect to him,
No.
Cam should be more of a role player, not a starter.
He shouldn't be dependent upon at
Correct.
this point. Yeah.
You know, there
Should be.
You know, Cam should only be getting maybe 50% of the snaps as opposed to 70 something or whatever.
Can you imagine how much more productive he would be if he played less?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, and that's totally fair to say. Maybe if he played less, he'd have more sacks or more tackles. But the dude's getting old,
that
man.
would be a fucking menace when he came in. They'd be like, "Oh fuck."
I mean, he's not much. He's a little bit younger than Ian and I, you know.
Yeah.
So good, and I know I joke about him a lot. In case he's probably going to joke a little bit later, but I do love Cam. I'm grateful that I got to work with him, and I'm very happy for him and his family, especially now that he gets to feed them. But
hey,
but
again,
but I'll say
videos
this.
only takes cash.
But I will say this about Cam, and I don't think I appreciated this last year. But as I get older in my career, I sit and say, hey, who else are you going to get to replace me? And my wife, who's an HR professional, says everyone's replaceable. And I say, yeah.
HR?
Oh, my wife's a fucking goat. My wife's a goat of HR. My wife's
your
fucking
wife
bought.
is an HR and is married to you. Does she advise you to shut the fuck up at work or?
He's PR. She's HR. So it's fur.
And I'm her case study and what not to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, at work I'm different. But the point being is that he's not wrong for what he said, because at this point, currently, he's arguably the Steelers' best defensive lineman.
He is,
and he should be compensated fairly for that. So I bust his ball.
Dan?
Hargrave probably. I bust his balls.
Javon is available,
and I only bust his balls because he handled his media sessions last year so poorly. But Javon isn't available. He signed with the Packers.
Whoa, that was quick.
But anyway,
Jay Wobble.
Cam Heyward is absolutely right. Last year I didn't think that way, but I think he's absolutely right to have some. Freak, I appreciate you.
Scope's wife is a saint for sure. I thought she ran an insane asylum.
That's not wrong with that. But I break his balls, but it shouldn't be that way, but at 37 or 38
I think the way
or whatever,
you're laying it out is really good.
He shouldn't. He should not have to be that fucking guy anymore, and he is.
And don't get me wrong. We were talking about this before when you were off I don't know, pinching a loaf, whatever it was you were doing.
I had to rip a piss,
Yeah, sure.
I'm on some medication.
My point was just I'm disappointed in the rest of the defensive line core. It's like, especially Keanu Benton. I think that Derek Harmon will take the mantle from.
I was there for that, but that's fine. Yeah, I got you.
From Cam this year, and he'll become the Steelers' best defensive lineman. But there should already be that guy there. I mean, Stephon Tuitt stepping away hurt us, obviously.
Yes.
But Benton should be that guy, and the way he played the run last year was fucking embarrassing. I mean, the guy just got washed on the line. He played so bad, he took out teammates.
Yeah, there were times. Yeah, and as was mentioned a little bit earlier, that Patrick Graham likes to bring the blitz, which I think is probably going to go over.
But he also plays a lot of too high safety.
Yeah,
a lot of it.
He is very good based on what I've seen. He can adjust to his defense to just about anything. I don't think he is the type of guy that likes to be put in a box and say, this is what I do. Much in the same way that Bill Belichick used to run defenses week to week that were very different. You never knew what Belichick was going to do one week to the next. It wasn't a traditional 4-3, 3-4. It was whatever he felt he needed to do, But I do agree with you defensive line-wise. Harmon's got to be the guy. Benton's got to be better, period.
Did you see that tweet this week that somewhere Bill Belichick is pissed off that he didn't think up using fake trades to fuck up everyone else's?
Like the Ravens did?
Yeah.
He's probably
like, God damn it, I should have fucking thought of that.
Yeah. He might have a couple other rings by now. So let me think here. I'm just trying to think. The Darnell Savage, that might almost be as much special teams as, but my God, he's what, 8th year now, I think?
Yeah, that's a depth signing.
For sure.
Yeah.
The Brisker signing is a much more valuable signing.
Agreed. And we still got Dante Kent sitting back there. Is he even going to be?
He's more of a kick return specialist. I don't know.
I
think the
special teams player.
The Savage signing was more of a Miles Killebrew and Chuck Clark aren't coming back, so we need someone else on the depth chart.
Chuck Clark was fucking horrible.
Yes, he was.
Oh man, I'm telling you.
He wasn't like Kyle Duggar horrible, but he was right there.
Duggar at least had some moments where
he did have moments, and it was like, okay, this guy's a player. Competent. And then he would, like, the next week you'd see him, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? How are you 12 yards out of position? What the fuck did you read there? So I don't think that physically Duggar has issues. Like, physically he's got all the talent in the world. But mentally, I think that's the issue. When Chuck Clark replaces you,
that's not good.
Yeah, it's not a good sign.
That's not good. Yeah. Was that Jamie that asked that up here about? And I think Ian, you might have mentioned it in the chat about Dean versus Pierre. I think Dean is just a better overall corner.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Pierre did some really nice things, and a lot of people, still to this day wonder, did he ever really truly get a fair shot to be a starter? There were moments when he started, and it seemed like the longer he started, teams figured him out a little bit more. If that makes sense, because he did have some kind of downer games, but
Pierre got a lot better this past year. Something clicked with James Pierre this past year. Yeah. Right, that 2 years ago he got absolutely roasted by the Bengals, and then came back last year and had the best game of his career against Cincinnati, and said afterwards, I watched that tape from the Bengals game over and over and figured out everything I did wrong and learned what I needed to do to not do that again, which is a great thing that you want in a professional football player. You want people that want to
hone your craft.
Yeah. Exactly. So he did get a lot better. But I think Dean is just an overall better player, and he always has been. Yeah. It's just the question with Dean is his ability to stay healthy.
Yeah, Philip makes a great point too. Pierre is going to be hard to replace.
He's a good gunner.
But really, really good gunner on special teams.
But can you blame him with a new defense coming in?
No.
Yeah. A new philosophy. We're going, well, there's a guy in Minnesota that, was a defensive coach here and has some familiarity with me. And
Yep. No, I don't blame him. No, at all. I don't either. I wish him well. And it's a business at the end of the day. That's what it is.
The other thing I want to mention too, let's not forget, right, that James Pierre, this was his first shot at getting money, right? He was an undrafted free agent.
So
he was
remember?
He got $4 million and change, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that's a huge raise for him. You're right.
Yeah, he had been basically he had been an exclusive rights free agent, a restricted free agent, right? Like the Steelers had control over his contract, that he had no shot at getting money on the open market. He got 2 years, $8.5 million total, 3.7 guaranteed. So I mean they there's $3 million or so, $3.5 million next year in a base salary that if they cut him, he won't actually see. But still, he's more money than he's seen in his whole career, right? So he had an opportunity here to go make some money.
I mean, he's a guy. He's one of those.
Although I am surprised that Omar didn't re-sign him because he's 29.
That's true. Although Brisker's only 26, so there's some.
Well, he saw the 6 upside down.
That's possible.
Well, that's possible, but the upside with Brisker is that he could be the guy when Deshaun Elliott is done.
That's true.
Yeah, I like Elliott a lot. I
love Elliott. He's a great player.
He's on the field, man.
He's the dude is the quintessential Steeler. You were like, fuck yeah, this is the guys we need to sign.
Yeah,
that guy.
Any other major topics before we send this over to Mr. Kasem at all?
We still need a quarterback.
We do need a quarterback.
Pretty badly.
I'm gonna loosen up
even if Rodgers comes back, we still need a quarterback.
Well,
Ty Simpson, for those of you that want that guy, fuck that. And no, he ain't that guy.
I think what you're going to see, I'll make a prediction. You're going to see a big media push to get him drafted in the first round.
Oh, he will be.
I
think he'll be drafted before 21 too.
Do you really that early?
That's awesome for us.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think he's a first round quarterback.
No, he's not. This is not a legitimate first round grade. No way. No way. The guy does not have the arm strength. He doesn't. Coach's kid, blah, 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 discipline.
Oh, his footwork is really good. His fundamentals, his mechanics are very nice.
This is pretty much what they said about Kenny Pickett when he came out.
No doubt.
He doesn't have the physical skills, but his intangibles are off the charts. Well, were they really? Because he was kind of a little bitch.
You can tell Tom hangs around this.
Wasn't going to be the starter.
I'll be back.
Tom understands the assignment of being in the chat here.
Yes. Yeah. He wasn't going to be the starter in Seattle, so he refused to dress. Was he really? Were his intangibles, really off the charts? Or was it just like he was really good at interviewing?
Well, that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. Well, dude is on his 5th team in 5 years.
Yeah.
Always ready to compete. Good for you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Hope you don't fumble it on your one snap this year.
Ooh. Freak, I think I'll let these guys answer too, but I my guess is it was just a money thing. I don't think the Steelers want to be tied to
Willis?
any kind of yeah.
I don't think so at all. I think that
I think they could. I'm not saying they couldn't have afforded them, but
no. I don't think that was even an option. I think the Dolphins had first dibs on the guy because Jeff Hafley was a guy that was his coach and called him and said, "Hey, do you want to be the Dolphins quarterback?" And he said, "Yes." So it was done before they even negotiated anything.
Yeah, and that's very possible. I mean, I just know if I'm the agent of Malik Willis, aren't you going to call a few teams and say, "Hey,
no, not when your client says I'm going to Miami."
Okay,
get a deal done.
Especially when he has a chance to be the guaranteed starter in Miami. Like no one's going to challenge him to be the starter. Right?
Yeah, that's very valid.
Tua's gone. There's no controversy. There's no nothing. Like Hafley calls him like.
Yeah.
Maybe even texted him. He's like, "I've got your cell number. Hey, do you want to be the Dolphins quarterback?" "Yes, I do." "Okay, great."
Are you saying Quinn Ewers will not battle him for that top spot?
No. He's not going to. No.
Yes, Christine, I did feel a little bit for Minka. In fact, I feel for anybody that's going to the New York Jets. I mean, God. Next week, we will discuss any more further developments, both in the quarterback situation and, of course, free agency. But we'll definitely start to turn our attention towards the draft. But before we go tonight, we do want to offer you the thoughtful stylings of the late, great Mr. Kasem. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kasem.
Are you on mute, Ryan?
Here's a guy who's on mute.
No, Kasem is dead and forgot to hit his mute button.
So
anyway, beautiful intro ruined, but that's all right.
No, I heard. All right, let's find the old document here. Hold on. There we go.
Ryan's plugging down a little bit of his White Claw. All right, there we go.
No, this is electric. This beer is phenomenal. Electric Jelly Hazy IPA.
Oh, I'm in.
Evergreen Brewing Company, little MGMT Electric Jelly.
Where is Evergreen? Where's that out of?
I don't fucking know.
I also had a IPA. This was a Frigid
Camp Hill,
Digits
PA.
Oh, beautiful.
That's outside of Harrisburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a Back Alley Brewing Company, local out of Dormont, Pennsylvania. India
Back
Pale
Alley
Ale.
fits you perfectly, Ian.
Beautiful.
Actually, the Back Alley Brewing Company is in the old Dormont Municipal Building. So yeah, like the original one. So yeah,
outstanding.
Well, Dormont is classy as fuck. My friend threw up there once. Got yelled at for doing it.
Dormont is a good place.
She was puking in the sidewalk.
We just lower the.
We've all been there. Casey's Cast, American Top 40. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the week that was March 12th, 1995. Our favorite correspondent and non-ball knower, Ryan, is back with us again this week, and he writes, "Dear Casey, and I'm a free agent." Yeah, I'm a free agent. Casey, that's, of course, a parody of Tom Petty's Free Fallin' off his debut solo album, Full Moon Fever, which was released back in 1989. Speaking of fevers, I got a fever, Casey, and the only prescription is watching Omar Khan cook.
Seriously.
Not a bad start to free agency for the con artist. What I like most about the Steelers' approach to free agency is that it reminds me of myself during my college days. Trying to land 30-year-olds who were past their prime but always appreciated getting the bag. Casey, we all know who's now donning the black and gold. So let's take a look at who's left. I'm sorry, who has left. I've had some drinks. Let's start with former Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett, who was the Steelers' first-round pick of the 2022 NFL Draft out of the University of Pittsburgh, which is where current Steelers head coach Mike McCarthy was a grad assistant, dialing up Spider 2Y Banana back in 1989 while listening to Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. That's right, Casey. Kenneth Shane Pickett is now with the Carolina Panthers, or as I call them, Pittsburgh South. Casey, Kenny Pickett is like herpes. He'll never go away. However, he does have herpes, and he got him from Zach Gentry.
That's awful.
Let's continue with the in memoriam. Kenneth Gainwell signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Farewell to the Steelers' 2025 MVP, which is like a chick being a 10 in Pittsburgh, but a 5 in Miami. Good luck catching 1,000 checkdowns from Baker Mayfield. He might punch you in the dick before he throws you a check down. James Pierre signed with the Minnesota Vikings. Honestly, good for him because Steelers fans acted like this was a huge loss despite only knowing who he was 15 minutes before he signed somewhere else. Isaac Seumalo signed with the Arizona Cardinals. And in his media session, he said, "I want to win with a team who wants me here." Casey, to be honest, I had no idea he could speak a full sentence because he has the IQ of Homo erectus. Me make fire, me hungry, me hit defensive lineman. Okay. Casey, if you don't get what I'm throwing down, he's a dumb fuck. Anyway. Shit. Yeah, Pittsburgh West. Oh my God, Philip Hopkins there. That's right. I missed an opportunity there. That's fair.
You did.
Miles Killebrew signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well, where he gets to reunite with former Steelers special teams coach Danny Smith. Casey, if you thought I was going to joke about either one of these great humans, you're crazy. Tyreek Hill 2.0, Calvin Austin III, signed with the New York Giants. Good for him. However, he's not tall enough to ride the Coney Island Cyclone. I'm told he's almost as tall as Jackson Dart's dart. But there's another positive. He goes from Tomlin to Harbs, which is like going from mid to mid. And last, but certainly not least, Connor Heyward signed with the Las Vegas Raiders, which proves that he was only on the team because Mike Tomlin was the head coach.
Maybe.
I'm told his brother, Steelers defensive lineman Cam Heyward, was going to ask for his release, but realized he couldn't feed his family on the $150 million he already made. Casey, as always, these are just jokes. But what's not a joke is Steelers free agency 2026. Casey, this is how we do it.
Nice.
Well, Ryan, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Also, keep your radio tuned right where it is. At number 34 this week, here's Montel Jordan with This Is How We Do It.
Outstanding. Well done, Casey. Even from the grave, he continues to bring the bangers. Thanks, everybody. Ian, I wanted to give you a quick platform because Steel City Blitz, we're all about the Steelers and we're all about Whitfield High School football, but we're also about Ian's passion of bracketology.
For being a fucking nerd.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, I've been doing this for a while now of trying to predict the NCAA field, and there's a guy out there who runs a site called the Bracket Matrix where he ranks like all the bracketologists, and I'm ranked higher than Joe Lunardi. So,
Yep, that's right.
You could listen to Joe Lunardi on ESPN, or you could check out SteelCityBlitz.com. I have a bracketology page that I'll be updating like every day this week leading up to Selection Sunday with my projection. I did like an article earlier this week on just kind of my thoughts on where things were, but so follow me on Twitter at the Steelers and also the Steel City Blitz bracketology page for how I think the NCAA field's going to shake out. So we'll see. It'll be fun. A couple days till Selection Sunday. Here we go.
Yeah, conference tournaments are underway. Already had the undefeated Miami team go down in the first round of the MAC tournament. So I see the Ohio Bobcat. They're not very happy with the loss to the Red Hawks earlier this week. Or whatever.
That was one of the best. You know what? That Miami Ohio game on Friday night last week was one of the best games I saw.
It's a really
that was
good
an
game.
Outstanding basketball.
I'm bitter, and we lost the Kent Reed, Kent Wright, Kent State earlier tonight. But I said this the last couple weeks. I said Miami, Ohio is not even going to win the MAC tournament, and if they get in the dance, they're going to fucking lose by double digits to an average SEC team. So I hope it's Georgia or fucking Auburn, and Miami, Ohio is going to get their shit pushed in. I'm saying it right now because those fratty, preppy pricks fucking beat Ohio U at the Convocation Center, and we're waving goodbye and all that shit. Every douchebag that went to Miami, Ohio, including Ben Roethlisberger and Sean McVay and Chris Shula, who I wanted here. But the point being is every fucking person that went to Miami, Ohio was that dude fucking waving goodbye to Ohio after they beat us.
Wow.
I had some drinks. I'm just saying
Scarps is not bitter at all.
There is zero bitterness there.
Scarps is not bitter. He's not allowed that to creep in.
You say I'm negative, but it's the truth.
Hey, about 85 minutes of great Steelers talk with about 3 minutes of just pure hatred for Miami
and the Ravens,
and of course the
Ravens. We didn't even talk about the Ravens.
God, fuck
much
them
about
too.
Their
Nah. Well, there's much more time to get into that.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, what a train wreck. But anyway, thanks so much, everybody. Make sure you visit the site SteelCityBlitz.com. Check out the socials. Please make sure you click that subscribe button, like, and all that other wonderful stuff that you do on the socials these days. And as always, everybody, go Steelers.
You changed it up. Ravens suck.
We've had some drinks.